Hey guys,
Today, we will be watching The Godfather Part II.
welcome back to another video. I'm sorry that this video took a little longer to come out because I had to watch The Godfather 2 3 times. Before you say anything, no, I'm not a Godfather fanboy. So this question circulating in all our heads when we're watching this movie, is this movie as good as the first Godfather? The answer to that question is no. It's better. This movie is so much easier to manage story-wise. Like, when I was watching this movie, I understood everything perfectly. I know who Hyman Roth is. I know who Pantangeli is. I understand every character, and I understand what makes them tick. It took me 2 rewatches to understand all the characters in the first Godfather. It took me 1 watch to understand this one. By this point in time, Michael Corleone is already the Don of the Corleones. We're in Nevada now, kind of. We don't actually see much of Nevada in this movie, which is surprising because now the Corleones are based in Nevada. Since Don Corleone, Vito Corleone is dead, Michael Corleone is the Don. And we already established that Michael is ruthless in the first movie. So, now that we have that done, we finally understand that Michael will be willing to do anything for his family. So,
I almost died myself. It was all so relieved.
In my home! In my bedroom where my wife sleeps! Where my children come and play with their toys.
now we're gonna mention something else about this movie that I really, really like. We get to see Vito Corleone. Like, Vito died in the first one. We're aware of that. But what we weren't aware of is how Vito came into the Mafia, how he got to America, what prompted him to come to America, and how everything built up to the first Godfather. And yeah, it's pretty good. The side plot about Vito is actually very good. Whenever we transport to the 1910s or 20s, you fully understand, like, immediately. It doesn't take you a second. Like, now, while I do think that these flashbacks are very important scenes for us to watch and understand, and I find them extremely engaging, I like Michael better. I enjoy Michael's storyline a lot more, and thankfully, he takes up the majority of the movie. There's only about 3 flashbacks in this movie, and they're all very good, but we can all say that Michael is the best actor in this movie. Al Pacino is the best actor in this movie. So this movie centers around Michael being Don Corleone and facing Hyman Roth as a main antagonist. The whole plot gets set into motion around the 45-minute mark when his house is attacked, when his house is shot at by a couple of New York mercenaries sent by Hyman Roth. Now, who gave Hyman Roth the address? It couldn't have been Pantangeli. No, it's not Pantangeli. No, it's actually very sad who it is. It was Fredo. It's Fredo Corleone. Fredo in this movie is so much more important, and I love Fredo. I made a throwaway joke about him in the first video and then never talked about him again, but I still love Fredo. And it's really sad to see Michael and Fredo's relationship go on a downfall to the point it is. In this movie, we have established how ruthless Michael is and how he will do anything for his family. But one thing that we do get to see that is a lot more fun is the calculated Michael. So, in the first one, Michael is just a Marine war hero, and I think that that's good. I think he's good in doing that, but I also think that he's so much better when he's doing this calculating thing. Like, he has become the Don. He reminds me of Marlon Brando as Vito Corleone. He has all the traits. So, Hyman Roth is a villain. You don't see him much, but he's so compelling. The most you see him is in Cuba, when they're trying to assassinate Hyman Roth, because Hyman Roth tried to assassinate Michael. I'm not going to try and lay out the plot for you, because that's going to be way too hard. Just trust me on this one. And those are some great scenes with Hyman Roth. Hyman Roth is probably the third best actor in this movie. I think he delivers such a compelling performance. It's him or Robert De Niro. I'm trying to pick. But the second best actor, by far, is Fredo Corleone. When I say Fredo is a good actor, believe me, he's a good actor. Another great character who I just enjoy when he's on screen, Pantangeli, Frank Pantangeli. I really enjoyed him as comic relief, and I really hope he'll show up in the next movie. I think that there was a little bit of actual history sprinkled into this movie, namely by the court trials of the Mafia. That was probably the most compelling part of this movie, to me, that the court is looking into the Mafia and interrogating them and holding them by their throats, right? I think that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. While I do think that Vito wasn't as engaging as Michael, I do think Vito could have been used more. You see, I like to research my videos. I like to understand everything about them before making my final opinion on them. And something I found out during my research is that Robert De Niro had 45 minutes. I'm not saying 45 minutes is a bad amount. I'm saying I think he could have been used more. Robert De Niro is an extremely good actor. Can I just quickly bring your attention to this silly ass cut?
2,000 years. Oh.
You won't take my children.
I will.
You won't take my children!
You're my children, too.
By the end of the movie, this movie had me in shambles. I did not cry during this movie like I did with the first one, but like I was on the edge of my seat the entire movie, and by the time Fredo dies, I'm just freaking like... I also think that the dinner scene at the end of the movie is masterful, even though I would have liked a Marlon Brando cameo. I just think it's masterful. I can't explain it. It just feels so good. You get to understand the kind of relationship that the family has, and that makes everything so much more meaningful. So yeah, this is probably the best mob movie I've seen. Then again, I have not seen Scarface or Goodfellas. So I'm gonna take a bit of a break from reviewing mob movies for a bit, just for a bit. Don't freaking lose your britches. I'm going to take a break from mob movies. I'm probably gonna watch 2001: A Space Odyssey or Whiplash. Yeah, I mean, the writing is great in this movie. Everything is great. But let's get on to the numbers. Hey guys, it's me, Numbers Man, and today we're gonna be looking at the numbers for The Godfather Part II. The cinematography for this movie is, I don't need to repeat myself, it's as good as the first one. It's a 10 out of 10. Let's move on to the next one. The soundtrack. I had an issue with the soundtrack in the last video, mainly because I feel like the Godfather theme wasn't used enough. The Godfather theme is still only used once in this movie, but the rest of the soundtrack makes up for it, and that's what I've decided. So, another 10 out of 10 for the soundtrack. Now, the acting. Let's talk about the acting for a second. Actually, you know what? I don't need to even explain myself. Why? I'm gonna give the acting a 10 out of 10. I hope you don't think that's weird, because every actor in this movie is good. Mike, Fredo, Sonny when he's on screen, Robert De Niro, I can't call him Vito Corleone, Connie, I freaking, yeah, every one of them is good. Now, a category that I actually haven't mentioned, and this will be a new change, the writing category, because I didn't want to put effects there anymore. So, the writing in this movie, again, so self-explanatory. It's a 10 out of 10. I don't need to explain myself. Every line in this movie is exquisite. It's perfect. I read the script for this movie and decided, yeah, it's airtight. And finally, the story. 11 out of 10.
Godfather 2 is a 10 out of 10.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I spent a really long time making it, so if you enjoyed, then please like, comment, subscribe. I don't care. Comment like The Godfather for funnies and shits and giggles. Bye!